Taylor, give me that crown.
What?
Last time, I showed you 5 magic cards, and you had to decide whether they were staples or stinkers.
And I did great.
All 5 right. I called my mom.
Yeah, I did awesome.
But Toralf showed you 5 magic cards, and you got one wrong.
That is true, I did.
So now, to get this crown back, you must show me that you're once again the king of staple or stinker.
Well, my hair may be shorter, but my brain is much bigger.
All magic cards are technically good. There are no bad magic cards. They all accomplish a goal, but some of them fooled us a little bit. Some of them either cost a lot of money when they came out, and then people put them in their decks and realized they maybe didn't accomplish all the goals they were set out. You will tell me if these cards are staples of the game or a said stinker.
Luckily for you, I don't have any sense of smell.
I will show you a card and you tell me if it's a staple or a stinker.
I can't wait, let's do it. We're looking at Necropotence.
It's an old, weird card. I'm giving you a newer version because the text on the old one is very confusing.
Okay, cool. I love that you're making this easier for me already. That's awesome. This is a 3 black mana enchantment that says skip your draw step.
That's the best part of the game.
Whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard. You can pay 1 life to exile the top card of your library face down. Put that card into your hand at the beginning of your next end step. Okay, so you're getting rid of your draw step.
Best part of the game.
Which, I mean, who doesn't love drawing cards, right? In any card game, drawing cards is great. But instead of your draw step, you can pay a life to put the top card into exile, which is like banish, I believe.
Yes.
Like the graveyard beyond the graveyard. And then that goes into your hand during your end step. So you're basically paying a life to put your draw end of your turn instead of the start of your turn.
Yes, that's not the main focus of the card, but that is one way it works.
And whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard as well.
And for context, I know that you are a well-learned man within the world of TCGs, but for those of you who are Yu-Gi-Oh players and tuning in, an enchantment just sits on the battlefield. It doesn't do anything. Sometimes you can destroy it, but it's like a field spell.
It's like kind of field spell, continuous spell, whatever you want to say. Yeah.
3 black pips in the corner of the card means you have to play a land, then the next turn play another land, then the next turn play another land, and tap 3 of them that have little black symbols on them to put this card into play. Or you can cheat it out in some ways.
This is a very interesting card. Some would say the best part of drawing a card at the start of your turn is that you can then play that card during your turn.
Yes.
So if you're not getting that card until the end of your turn, that seems like a pretty big downside to this effect. It's also costing you life.
There's a saying in Magic. No, I can't help you too much.
Okay. Please help me, please. No, it's fine. I need some clarification here.
Okay.
Because in my Yu-Gi-Oh brain, all of our cards have what's called a hard or soft once per turn on them. So cards will literally say in their effect text, you can only use this effect once per turn. So can you use this effect multiple times? Can I pay 1 life over and over and over again to exile multiple cards?
Because you only draw them at the same time, you can pay 6 life and then draw 6 cards at the end of the turn. Yes. You can't pay 1 life, draw, pay 1 life, draw, pay 1 life, draw.
Now this card's starting to make sense to me. Now I'm seeing it. Because, 1 card at the start of your turn versus 6 cards at the end of your turn, especially in a game like Magic, where you can then use those cards potentially on your opponent's turn.
That is true.
That seems pretty good.
What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna dust off this big old red button.
Oh, not the button.
And if you get it wrong, you're gonna hear a big old buzzer noise.
The pressure's just gone way up. I'm thinking being able to choose how many cards you get on your turn from your deck, even if you don't get them until the end of your turn.
And pay 1 life for each of them.
You pay 1 life for each of them.
And skip your draw step.
You have 20 life. I think this card has enough room to play with that there must be some way that this is a very usable, useful card. I will say Necropotence must be a staple.
I will put the crown back on the table because I am the prize, and you are correct. Necropotence is indeed a staple in every format that can play it.
Yeah.
The ability to swap 1 card draw for up to maybe 19 card draws is just too good. This card is expensive in every iteration it's been, and it's one of the most notable cards.
Woohoo, 1-0!
To see how many things you'll have on top of your head at the end of this table session,
Okay.
tell me what you think of Dakon Shadow Slayer. How much do you understand about planeswalkers?
Not much. They are kind of also like enchantments, but they have their own life.
Yeah, you can attack them. They're like a little player. You pay 3 mana, that's the same amount of mana as you do for Necropotence, except in this case it has to be 3 different colors, white, blue, and black. You get this little dude on the side. Currently he has 0 life. Oh no, he dies! But he has an ability that when he enters with as many life loyalty counters as you have lands in play. So if you pay 3 lands, he enters with 3 loyalty. Players can either attack him with their creatures to make his life total go down, or he can make his own life total go up or down by using his little magical abilities here. You can give them a read. Use it in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's such a thing as once per turn. It's not written here, but his little abilities are all a hard once per turn.
That is good to know. So Dakon Shadow Slayer costs a white, blue, and black mana, and yes, he enters with loyalty counters equal to the number of lands you control, which you said is like his life. He can add a life to Surveil 2.
That means you look at the top 2 cards of your library, and you decide whether they go in your graveyard or the top of your library, and you can rearrange them.
He can -3 life to exile target creature, which sounds pretty good, and he can -6 life to put an artifact card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield. Artifacts are similar to enchantments?
It's like an enchantment. Artifact is a subtype. A creature could be an artifact, but sometimes you have just artifacts that chill there, and they're very similar to enchantments. The main way they differ is that as such a popular card type in the game, there's many things that will interact with artifacts. A lot of cards will just destroy artifacts, for example.
Wow, this is a tough card because it has multiple effects of varying degrees of usefulness, I'm sure, which is hard to evaluate. But also, I think the hardest part for me to evaluate is him entering with the loyalty counters being equal to your lands.
So maybe the best way I can explain this to you in a way that could understand how strong this is that usually planeswalkers will always enter with the same amount of loyalty counters, and that will kind of define how good they are, because that'll define how many spells they can.
Right, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like
this one early on, because usually you can only play 1 land per turn most of the time in regular Magic. If you play him on turn 3, he'll have 3 loyalty counters. If you play him on turn 7, if you played a land every turn, he'll enter with 7 loyalty counters, and then you can even -6 him immediately.
That's why it's so much harder for me to evaluate, because there's such a wide range of like when you're playing this card, then what you're playing it for out of these effects. There's a lot of moving parts here. I guess let's break it down. Surveilling 2 to +1 seems fine. Seems, you know, you get to choose the best card of the top 2 to keep or rearrange, whatever. Exile target creature for -3 also seems like a good effect. I don't really know the mana cost association with exiling a creature, but that seems okay for like a card that's still going to stay on the field and probably get you more value after you use that. But the -6, a free artifact, is also extremely hard for me to evaluate because I don't know how good artifacts are.
There can be artifacts of all types. There's some artifacts that are not good, and there's some artifacts that are good. Steeples, stinkers.
Yeah.
It's an easy concept to grasp.
That's right.
Now, usually if you're putting an artifact for free onto the battlefield, you'd like it to be a really big one. So there's a chance that there could be a 10 mana artifact that says within the game. There isn't, but there's a 7 mana artifact that says you can't lose the game.
Yeah, and that's what I'm picturing is if you get this out, you're mana cheating. Mana cheating is always good, right? Like it's play something for free. Like you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh at that point, right?
Yeah, and I heard Yu-Gi-Oh's pretty good.
But there's just something about the way this is written that I don't quite see it. If you're getting the -6 immediately, right? If you're waiting until you have the 6 lands, then you're playing this, then this also dies if you use the -6 while it's at 6?
It does. If he goes to 0 loyalty, he loses the game.
He's
out
of
to your
it.
graveyard, yeah.
So, and then you're waiting until turn 7 potentially just to play an artifact for free. So your artifact has to be really good. But then also, if you're at 7 mana anyway, do you care about playing something for free? You can probably just play it. And even then, it's not even for free because this costs 3 itself. So you pay 3 to get for free, which doesn't make it free, it makes it 3. This is a stinker, Carl. You're trying to pull my leg with this.
All right, Dr. Seuss, you are correct. This is absolutely a stinker. It fooled everyone when it came out because it was spoiled. And people were like, oh, what? 3 mana? I can destroy something and then keep surveilling, but +1 on surveil is just not that good. You're not putting cards in your hand. You're just playing with the top of your library. 3 mana is a lot of mana to do that, especially if they can attack it. There's also this magical thing that in Commander, which is the most popular way to play Magic, Planeswalkers are way worse because there's politics in Commander.
Yeah.
You want to attack people, but you don't want to make enemies. And attacking a Planeswalker is free. It's a way for me to attack without upsetting anyone.
Right.
Just kind of a little bit the owner of the Planeswalker, but even then they're like, okay, well, at least it's not me.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I don't blame you. You kind of had to do it.
So you put this on the board, you surveil 2 and it dies. And you spend 3 mana on a card for that.
Right. You play a card for free on an effect and everyone goes, oh my God, it's crazy.
But for you to have enough loyalty for that to matter, you can usually just straight up pay for that artifact.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
You are correct. Darkon Shadowslayer is a stinker.
That was a close one. There's a lot of words on that card, Carl.
This tough. One has less words. Tell me what you think of Flare of Cultivation. Let's see if you can keep up your streak.
Flare of Cultivation. Ooh, I love this artwork.
I know.
This is 1 any mana and 2 green mana, is that right?
Yes, correct.
It's a sorcery, which is like a spell, and you may sacrifice a non-token green creature rather than pay this spell's mana cost. Did someone say free?
Yeah, technically, all the cards I've shown you cost 3 mana, but this one couldn't be free.
And if you do that, I mean, if you pay 3 or you sacrifice a creature, then you search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal them, put 1 onto the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand. This is getting you extra mana. This is getting you a land out of your deck onto the field and 1 into your hand.
You know how I said you usually only play 1 land per turn? I lied. Sometimes you have ways of putting more.
You have cards that will do this and get you an extra one. So the one that comes out is, it says it's tapped, so you can't use it the turn you play this.
No.
Mana ramp, for the most part, is a very good effect. I think the fact that the rules of the game constrain you to play 1 land per turn, if you're able to play without that rule, suddenly that's a very large advantage over your opponent.
You are speaking to one of Mana Ramp's biggest fans.
Okay, yes.
Mana Ramp is quite good.
That just makes sense, like, from a math perspective, right? This is interesting because it also gives you, like, a guaranteed land for next turn. So it kind of also helps you fix your hand if you need lands, as well as giving you 1 onto the field. That seems really good. You can make it free by sacrificing a non-token green creature. So, like, how relevant is token versus non-creature token? Because, like, I hear non-token, and to me that sounds like a good creature. Like, there's little tokens you don't care about, and then there's like the good stuff. But you have to sacrifice one of the good ones.
You're playing Santa. You're deciding who's naughty and who's nice.
Yeah.
You're deciding some children are better than your other children.
Exactly.
And yeah, tokens are easy to make. Some lands just make a token when it enters.
Right.
So then you could play the land, play the token, haha, sacrifice a token, and then make more lands. So non-token means you usually probably had to pay mana to put that card into play.
Yeah, so if you're turn 1, you're playing a guy, turn 2, you're playing a guy, turn 3, I mean, you could also...
I feel like I would be remiss and kind of cheating if I didn't let you on one bit of information, which is in green, a lot of the creatures you'll play for 1 mana tend to tap 4 mana.
You have other ways to ramp.
This is like a fact of Magic, so I feel like I should be letting you know, if not, you're completely into dark.
Okay.
Green is a lot about ramp.
And you have creatures that
which
ramp.
could make this amazing.
But if your creatures are already ramping, you're not going to want to sacrifice your creatures to then ramp.
Maybe you don't like your creatures. I've seen their silly little elf faces.
That is interesting context for sure. This one is really tough. I do wonder if it's a main part of what green does is to add extra lands, mana ramp. Suddenly, this is starting to look a lot worse, especially if you have creatures that are ramping you. You don't want to get rid of those to then get lands. It seems to me like maybe they're just, it's not that this would be like the worst card ever, but maybe there's like, you just have other better ways to ramp.
Is this a staple or are there other better ways to ramp?
Yeah, like this, I mean, this seems like a good enough card, but it's one of those like, if there's just cards that are better than this, it makes this look infinitely worse. And that's context I just don't have.
I can't tell you.
The look in your eye.
I have a terrible point.
Yeah, you do. I saw that lip quivering. You know what that means? I think you really tried to trick me with this one. I think this reads like a card that would be really good, but I think this might be a stinker.
Absolutely correct.
That was
this card fooled everyone.
Huge guess. Huge guess.
They had a cycle of flares. The black one would exile a creature. The blue one would counter spell. Those are great. Those are great. But the green one, I had such high hopes, Taylor.
Yeah.
I had such high hopes. Unfortunately, it's fine. It's a fine Magic card. It does a thing, but it's still good. paying 3 mana, putting in land, getting land. We're all happy. We all are happy with this exchange. Yet it wasn't good enough. There's spells that do this for 2 mana.
Right.
And the fact that it's free, usually you don't want to sacrifice your creatures that early because those creatures tap for mana as well, and you now spend 2 cards for the effect instead of 1.
It seems good, but I can also see it just not quite being good enough.
I feel like not telling you that Magic had stuff called mana dorks, which are the creatures that tap for mana, would be like showing you half of a combo, and it's a terrible card, but it magically combos with something else and just not showing you the other half.
Right, yeah.
So, yes, you're correct. This was a stinker.
We like to keep it fair around here. I appreciate that.
Oh, well, speaking of fair, maybe this one is not. Or is it? Who knows? Tell me what you think about Walking Atlas.
Walking Atlas. Ooh, this looks old. It is a 2 mana creature construct.
Oh, no. Fun fact about this, you know how I told you about artifacts earlier? And how some cards can be artifacts if they're creatures? This is a card with a mistake on it. Fun fact, they forgot to put the artifact text. It is errated in afterwards.
Really?
So this is an artifact, but it doesn't say so on the card.
That's so
If you open it on Scryfall, there's a small oopsie note.
Is it because it has no color?
Yes, artifacts are usually gray, and they tend normally, as a baseline, to have no color. They've later started adding some colored artifacts, but mostly they're colorless.
This is a 1/1 for 2 mana, and you tap it to put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. Oh boy, here we go again. More mana ramp.
I'm showing the Yu-Gi-Oh person who plays a game with no mana or resource system all the cards about resource systems. One last thing of note is the fact that it's colorless means you can pay any color mana. So this could be in any deck. While Necropotence could only be played in a deck that is heavy black, and Dakon could only be played in a deck that could play white, blue, and black. This could be played anywhere.
As someone who comes from Yu-Gi-Oh, and we have a lot of generic hand trap cards that just kind of go in every deck. You have to be very careful with card design when it can go in any deck that exists.
Yeah, you could even put it into play with Dakon.
Yeah, you could. Play it for free, why not? Basically, if this card can go in any deck, if it's even a little bit good, then every deck is going to play it. Have the option to play it, basically.
That's one of the problems in Magic with artifacts, is when they make them good, and they're too good, you see them everywhere.
Exactly.
And then they tend to have to get banned.
So already I'm leaning towards maybe this isn't very strong just because they would probably be aware of that and intentionally try to like bring the power level down a little bit. Maybe they didn't care. Maybe they just made a bunch of busted artifacts like 30 years ago and it ruined the whole game.
Well, have you heard of Black Lotus, for example?
Yes, exactly. That's a great point. So it does give you an extra land. Can you do that the turn you play it?
No. Cards in Magic, creatures in Magic, there's a terrible sickness running around in the game. It's called Summoning Sickness.
Right.
And when a creature enters the battlefield, it coughs a little. It has to take a nap. It takes a rest. And then when it feels better, it can start tapping and attacking.
So you'd use this on your next turn.
You play it, and on the next turn, after you've untapped, then is when it is no longer Summoning Sick.
And it's a 1/1.
1/1, for context and sizing in Magic, creatures start being big, I would say, at 4 or more power or toughness. A 1/1, if you blow on it, it dies.
Which is kind of what
Don't
I'm
blow on
thinking.
No.
If you want me to play this and then have it survive until my next turn as a 1/1, that sounds kind of difficult. 1/1 is essentially as small as it gets.
Yeah, it depends. There's removal spells in Magic, there's ways to kill creatures, but some cards, there's a lot of cards that are 1/1s that are incredible. And if
Right.
your opponent doesn't have a removal spell, their ability just wins you the game.
Oh man, you're really putting me through the ringer on this episode. It's all about mana, and I really don't have a full grasp of how good this effect will be. What you said earlier too about like green having these creatures that can tap for mana. Tapping for mana must be better than putting an extra land from your hand onto the battlefield because you get the mana no matter what. If you have this and you don't have the extra land in your hand, you don't get to play a second land. Whereas if you just tap for mana, you just get free mana, right? Look at that
That is
face.
sound logic.
Look at that face.
I'm gonna get some sunglasses.
Yeah, maybe you should. I mean, I don't even have to read the cards at this point. I can just look at Carl's face and, oh my God.
I am now a mystery. You may proceed. Ooh, I should do this more often.
Yeah, I think I'm on the train of thought now. It's a 1/1. Will it even survive? Even if it does survive, Seems like a worse version of a ramping effect. I think Walking Atlas is a stinker of a card, Carl.
Can't you see my obvious excitement? You are correct, it is a stinker. It fools people all the time. There's this one thing they do in Magic every once in a while, where creatures will put lands onto the battlefield. Sometimes it's a good thing, because lands will do cool stuff, and it's better than tapping for 1 mana. But the issue is that tapping for 1 extra mana means you don't need a land in your hand. You are correct. You can keep a hand with 2 lands and creatures that tap for mana, and it's fine. You don't even need the extra lands.
Right.
But if you have this, you're stuck with those 2 lands. This is empty cardboard, unless you have lands in hand.
Right. Even if this had like the effect when you play it, that it played a land from your hand, do you think that would be good enough?
There's only 1 card. Its name is Arboreal Grazer, and we don't say anything wrong about that card ever, but it's my favorite. Outside of that 1 card that fooled everyone, could be another Stapler Stinker, because everyone, it's a classic. It came out, and people were like, don't get fooled by this trap again, because they remembered Walking Atlas.
Makes
and that
sense.
one was good.
Yep.
This one, Stinker.
Stinky, stinky card. Okay, last
You are
one.
so close to the crown. I'll also swap it for my Bavarian hat if you want. If you get this right, you've shown them once again that you are the king of Stapler
Back
Stinker.
on top, baby. Let's do it.
Tell me what you think. Is this a staple or is this a stone cold stinker? About opposition.
Opposition. This looks like another very old card. We have 2 and 2 blue mana. It's an enchantment. Tap an untapped creature you control to tap target artifact, creature, or land. We're getting deep into the mechanics of this one.
So in this case, any of the creatures you have on the battlefield, you can tap them. Anything that your opponent can tap relevantly, these can tap.
Very interesting.
There's no real enchantments that tap.
This is going to show my total non-understanding of the way a Magic game is played. Because I don't really fully understand how you would use this. Let me put it this way. It's my turn and you want to play a spell.
Yes.
If you want to like tap your lands for mana, could I first like tap your lands before you tap them using this effect?
First of all, that'd be pretty rude. But yes, in my upkeep, for example, I untap, and then before I draw a card, you could tap my lands, and then I need to use them right away. If not, I lose that mana during my main turn.
But tapping my creatures seems like fine if I'm stopping you from playing the game.
The creature could be a Walking Atlas.
Yeah, that's right. I would much rather tap it to tap your stuff than tap it for an extra land from my hand that I don't have, you know? This seems like ridiculously strong to me. If I'm dictating when you can or cannot use your cards, that seems like a very strong effect. But how many creatures do I have on the field?
Also, not to lead you in any direction, but this costs 4 mana. 4 mana is a lot of mana.
4 mana is not nothing.
It's the most expensive mana-wise card I've shown you yet.
And there's no way to play it for free either. So
Must be terrible.
Knock it down the ladder a couple rungs already. That is sort of the question. By the time you're at turn 4, are you really spending your whole turn just to play a card like this? How many creatures do you have out by then? Like it would be 3 at most. But even then, that seems like really good. Play this, pass back to you, upkeep, you untap. I tap my 3 guys, and then you have 3 less mana for your turn. That seems really good, right? You're playing your turn 5 as if it's turn 2? I don't know, that seems like kind of a crazy effect. It also doesn't say non-token creatures. The other card said non-token creatures.
So you can even tap the bad ones.
If you can tap your naughty creatures, not just your nice creatures. This almost seems too good for you to show it to me. You know what I mean? Like it seems too obvious, which makes me think it might actually be bad. But going purely based on instinct, purely based on whatever little tiny amount I do know about Magic, that seems like a very good effect. I have to say this is a staple. Tell me I'm right, Carl. 5-0, come on.
I tried really hard. I was like, this man is smart. He's really good at card games. I will show him a good card. And if he sees a good card, he's like, wow, this must be pretty good. He's kind of tricked me. But in actuality, it is all about the mana. You are correct. Yay! Opposition is a stone cold staple. And it doesn't come immediately. It's true that you have to work it out in your head a little bit. Because remember when I told you that green has creatures that tap for mana? Right? If this combines with them, you can use them for your mana, and then tap your opponent's mana. You can use them to play this out really fast. If they cost 1, sometimes you'll have 4 creatures on the board once this comes out. Your opponent does not have mana for the rest of the game. If every turn you get your lands, but your creatures just tap theirs, whatever they played on turn 1 or 2 has to have won in the game. If not, you've locked them out completely. Not only that, if they did play a good creature, they have a huge speeder that, I don't know, they came out on turn 1, You can just tap it down every turn with your creatures. You decide what they have and what they don't. Because in Magic, if your card is tapped, you usually can't activate it.
We have a card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Called Mystic Mind, and when I read it, it read like Mystic Mind to me. It basically just stops your opponent from being able to do anything, and that's where we're at. So.
This is what I believe in Yu-Gi-Oh! We call a floodgate.
Exactly.
So, I am very sorry, but you will not find out what the button sounds like today. Taylor,
the crab
wear that hat! Wonderful!
Yay!
We actually had to defeat a large green dragon that has trample. So we changed this. It was the best and worst moment of our life.
Well, I'm glad it was all worth it. I'm gonna wear this crown until the next episode. And thank you very much for having me, Carl.
It was a pleasure. Congratulations, King of Stapler Thinker.